Horizon Zero Dawn is an incredible feat of an open-world game, with beautiful and detailed world building, simple but extremely deep gameplay, and a captivating story featuring interesting characters. You play as Aloy, a young woman who lives as an outcast outside the Nora tribe in a post-apocalyptic setting where giant robot creatures have taken over the Earth and humans have gone back to their tribal ways. When Aloy gets attacked, trying to become part of the tribe, she goes on a revenge-style coming-of-age quest to find out who the people were that attacked her and what really is happening to send humanity back to the Stone Ages when she explores new lands and areas in this gigantic open world. And as soon as you start exploring, you can see that this game is a graphical powerhouse compared to any other game this year. Character designs, animations, textures, they all look really good, but what makes it look spectacular is the lighting and environments. Lighting looks completely different from one area to another, and it seeps through the sky so well and naturally, especially in the snowy areas where you see the northern lights. Environments are detailed extremely well, and everything is so diverse. Even from the snowy area on one side of the map, compared to the other, looks completely different. The developers could have chosen an easy way out with just copy and pasting the environments, but you can tell just how much detail went into this world. A lot of the gameplay is very similar to other open world RPGs such as Witcher. You find new areas, accept quests, trade for new gear, craft, and even have a couple of choices in the plotline. Some people do criticize the game for having no originality to it, but I think even though we've seen a structure like this for the 20th time, the gameplay is original enough for the game to be really different from all the others. The core gameplay is using your bow and arrow to hunt for robotic creatures and fight humans. You can use your focus, which is a type of scanner that lets you find the weaknesses of robots, and this is when the gameplay becomes really fun and interesting. You have elemental arrows, tripwires, ropes, and many other weapons that lets you fight these machines in creative ways. So even when you get to the end of the game, it still feels like you haven't tried out all the weapons and upgrades yet. This is also where the crafting system shines. All the items you find in the wild tell you what they can be used for and where they come from, so there's no confusion or searching online to find what you need to craft a particular item. Another system that works really well is a skill system. Aloy starts off with not many abilities, but as you level up you get a skill point, which is used to get skills that are normally taken for granted in other games. Sure, you may feel like it's an excuse to make you weak in the start, but it really does make you feel stronger as you get certain abilities such as whistling to attract enemies, or using stealth kills from above and below. It also helps not making the game ever feel bare. So even if you do somehow try out everything in the weapon and crafting systems, you'll still have a few new abilities to mess around with. Stealthing in this game is just as fun and rewarding as going in loud at hunting creatures. Although with the right skills, it can be really simple and hardcore stealth players, used to playing games such as Metal Gear Solid series, will find this laughably easy. But nonetheless, it is still fun tagging enemies with your focus, crawling through the bushes, and taking them out slowly. In some areas, you'll have to take it stealthily. It is near to impossible to fight a lot of robots and humans at the same time. Mainly because Aloy isn't a superhuman compared to characters in other open world games. She can't tank a lot of hits before dying. Luckily though, the gameplay always keeps itself fun and engaging, whether you're playing it stealth, hunting, or exploring. The actual bulk content of this game has to offer is in its quests. The main quests are fun enough, with it having some real tense edge of your seat moments, and a really interesting story. Outside of the main quests, you have your usual side quests that are interesting enough story-wise, but are all very similar in gameplay, with investigating an area, following tracks, and then fighting a creature. It's definitely fun, but it can get repetitive after a couple in a row. You also have hunting grounds that have you complete a special task hunting creatures on a time limit. There are bandit camps, which have you wipe out bandits, and are the most fun when you go stealthy. But I had the most fun with cauldrons. These high-tech factories show you how these robots are made, and completing it gives you the ability to control certain types of these machines, which you can use to mount or fight for you. Aloy is a very charming protagonist, and I completely enjoyed the whole plot, which seems as a predictable and stereotypical story turns into an engaging adventure that tells you the secrets in the universe, with relatable and compelling characters. The natural dialogue only elevates this with the fact that you can have some dialogue choices with Aloy, whether you want her to reply with compassion, logic, or arrogance. The soundtrack has some good tunes, but most of it is forgettable. You can especially hear a lack of it when you are in the world not doing a specific quest. The predominant orchestral instruments in the soundtrack provide a nice ambiance, but no real piece to go with an intriguing story. Although the sound is great, with how the environments react when Aloy moves through it, and the sound these machines make help give me the feelings of mysteriousness, Voice acting is pleasant, with all the main characters and supporting characters sounding and looking real with their emotions and facial animations, but some of the characters from side quests do sound like they were picked randomly off the street. Horizon Zero Dawn is not a perfect game. There are problems with the lack of proper pieces in the soundtrack, but the rest of the flaws, such as similarly structured side quests and voice acting, is small nitpicks that I still utterly recommend this game. The gameplay is always fun, with intricate systems such as crafting, hunting. The world is diverse and looks incredible, and the story is constantly making you want to find out more about this interesting setting. That's why I'm giving Horizon Zero Dawn 4.5 out of 5.